But yeah, if you're just signing up for an individual teacher account on your own, it'll start for one full calendar year from the day that you sign up.
For the date. Okay,
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah, good question.
I like to do it, show the school the data, and then they're more likely to buy in.
Yeah, 100%. And if we do like we'll do pilots and like campus wide or district wide, we can spin up usage dashboards for districts as well, so they can get a sense of who's using it, how often are they using it, and then what types of activities are they using it for. So
Okay,
that's an option too.
that's cool. Okay.
Shall I start?
Yeah, let's do
Yep,
it.
1 o'clock or
All right.
wherever you're at. Sorry.
Awesome. Oh, we got tons of people in here. That's awesome. So, welcome everybody to this is now what session three on the day. And I am joined by the man, the myth, the legend, Adam Sparks. So, Adam, if you want to introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm honored to be here. So my name is Adam Sparks. I'm the co-founder of Short Answer. I taught English and social studies for 7 years, all over the place. So mostly in Nebraska, which is where I'm from, but also my wife and I taught in China for a year. I taught in on the west side of Chicago for a few years. And then 3 years ago now, I did my master's at Stanford in their Learning Design and Technology program. And Short Answer started as my master's project there. And it was just supposed to be a master's project. And then we got grant funding and launched it, and here we are. So we've been building it for about 3 years now. And it's changed a lot. And we have some massive changes coming very soon to Short Answer as well. So it's grown and gone in all sorts of different directions. But super excited to present it with you today, Adam.
Yeah, thanks for being here. And I'll say, like, you're always adding things and listening to feedback and tweaking things on short answer. And there's always something new, and I love it. So I appreciate that.
Hey, thanks.
So yeah, this session here today is cyber sandwich with short answer. And I know Adam commented earlier on the picture that I have up, and I threw the logos into ChatGPT, said make them hold hands, and it worked its magic, and it did not disappoint. So we're going to look at how we can pair these two ideas together to create a better writing experience for our students in class, better learning experience overall in class. So we're going to jump into it. And here's what I have for everybody. I'm going to go over to short answers. So I called John Crippo last night. I'm like, John, how can I go about doing a cyber sandwich with short answer without having to jump around from tech tool to tech tool? And he's like, why don't you just have everybody do their notes in short answer? And I'm like, that's brilliant. So we are going to do cyber sandwich in a way I've never done it. And we're going to take notes in short answer, and then we're going to come back and write our summary in short answer. And what does this Pringles can have to do with this gravestone? And it's one heck of a story. And I'm going to switch it over. And so this story I call RIP, Rest in Pringles. And it's a Cincinnati related story. It's an awesome story, a Cincinnati related story here. So, in short answer, I signed in already. I'm going to set this up. And so, with a cyber sandwich, we start off and we read and we take notes, and then we compare and collaborate and share our notes and our ideas with a partner. And then we end up writing a summary. So, from start to finish, it should take anywhere from 20 to 25 minutes. And if you've never done a cyber sandwich before, the first time you do it, it might be rough, but you work out a few kinks and you just keep trying it again and again and again. And so I already have this set up in short answer. I'm going to click launch. So anyone that's in our session today, you would open up a new tab, and I'm going to, it's talking with Adam. I should do battle royale, right? With our notes, Adam.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So I'm going to set this up here. I chose battle royale. Um, ooh, I wonder if I should make it a timed. I'm going to just let it be. I'm going to allow copy and paste just because, and that's really all I need to have on. So I'm going to hit launch. And here's what we're looking for. You are going to read, and I have the reading linked right here. Rest in Pringles. It's linked at the top. So you're going to read about the Pringles, and you're going to put for your notes 3 facts from the source, 1 bazinga or something that wowed you, and then 1 question that you have. And
Hey,
that's it. Yeah.
sorry, don't mean to interrupt. If you click that copy link button, that's on
Yep.
the little modal at the bottom, and if you
Yep.
share that in the chat, if folks click on that, it'll automatically sign them in, so they don't have
Ooh,
to input them.
sweet. Great idea. There it is. So I put the link in the chat and it'll take you straight to it. And because I teach middle school, I never show the names if we're doing a battle royale. It's not a popularity contest. So, but if you're just joining in, the link to the reading is at the top, and then you just open it up and you're going to share 3 facts, 1 bazinga or something that wowed you, and 1 question that you still have. Adam, somebody said, can you show the reading side by side with the writing area?
So let me think through. You could, because I understand why you're asking that question, because it's not ideal in this current setup of like having to have the reading and then click out of the modal and do the writing and click back into the. Um, what I might do instead is like share the reading with the kids through like Google Classroom or whatever your LMS is, Schoology. And then they could pull it up in a separate tab. I think you can also, oh wait, I'm lying to you. Sorry, you can. So when you pull up the reading in the top right, there's a little like arrow in a box. And if you click that, it'll open up the reading in a different tab. Sorry, I forgot about that. Um, yeah, no problem, Kate.
And I just shared the reading in the chat with everybody too, in case they wanted it that way too. Yes, Mackenzie asked, could you give them a reading on paper to highlight and annotate? Totally. I always have paper ready to go, um, just in case. And I shared the reading in the chat again. And if you're just joining us at the top in short answer, if you like look for this icon right there, if you click that, it'll open up the reading for you in a separate window. So, um, all right. And I see here, and I like how I can see the progress here and how many, and I like the new feature you added of words, how many words are being typed. I know that students really get into that piece.
Yeah, and it's important, I think, that you frame to kids like um just because your writing has more words doesn't necessarily mean it's better. Sometimes you can say, if you can say the same thing in fewer words, um, it's maybe more effective writing to be succinct. So I would frame it to kids as like we put that word count on there to kind of help teachers monitor things, I think more so than like incentivize kids to have more words on the page. Although sometimes incentivizing kids to have more words on the page is also a good thing because kids really struggle to get anything down. So it just
Yeah.
depends on the context. But
Yeah.
yeah.
And I will say, if anybody wants to steal this story, you could steal this, use it on Monday, and go buy some Pringles and just have your class eat Pringles and read about a guy being buried in a Pringles can in Cincinnati. Makes for great teaching, everybody. All right.
So someone has a question, how do you go back to type once you switch back to the reading?
You would just click outside the window and it should take you right back to where you need to be. I believe. All right. So typically on this cyber sandwich, here, I would give kids 10 minutes to read, take their notes, and then we would move on to the next phase. So we'll give it, I see some people have submitted here. So if you can, and I know like we all joined at different times and some of us um, are not quite done with our notes yet. If you have to, I would never say this to students, if you have to, copy and paste. But start to submit your notes, and I might give like a, I don't know. And I'm just showing this because there's a timer in short answer too, which is nice. There's a clock up here at the top. I do like the music piece. And it plays nice, I don't know, soothing music as students are typing. But I turned it off. But there's a timer up top, and we'll make this the 1 minute countdown. All right. Now, the reason I'm doing the battle royale is that everybody can see each other's notes. So when I click begin knockout round, you will be able to get a sense of what other people have typed, what they found to be important, um, and um, then you could maybe incorporate some of that stuff into our summary piece that we'll do next. All right. Okay. So submit your notes. Most people have submitted. 60%. I like the timer at the, or the completion bar at the top. Tells me 68% completed. And again, I'm very sorry if you did not finish. I'm so sorry, but I got to begin the knockout round. And this way we can see each other's notes. And what it's going to do is pair up people's notes and you select the best one. So I'm going to continue. All right. All right. And again, as you guys are picking notes, I can see the completion bar just moving right along across the top. And so it's going to whittle us down to the final four here. And you'll see, like, and as we do this, you'll get a sense of why kids really enjoy this. It adds such a fun element to writing. And I was telling Adam earlier that my kids really get into this. I had a room full of eighth graders that didn't want to go to lunch because they wanted to do another round of this. And I mean, it's like, what eighth grader doesn't want to go to lunch so they could write more?
So a few things. I hope the engagement is primarily coming from that. Oh my gosh, I'm going to write something and my classmates are going to see it. So I should try hard. It's the authentic audience piece.
Mhm.
Um, But I also hope, I think what you're experiencing now is I hope where a lot of the learning is coming from of like in a relatively short amount of time, you're being exposed as a student to a bunch of different worked examples. And some of those worked examples could be really good and some of them might not be so good, but you're developing an internal sense as a student of like what makes for good writing, depending on whatever we're practicing. Um, and we hear that's what we hear the most from kids when we do activities like Battle Royale. It's like, I know what I need to do now because I saw what my classmates did, basically.
And Tracy asked if, and I think the answer is yes, but she asked if this version, Battle Royales, is part of the free version.
It is. Yep. Yep. Battle Royale's on the free plan. And
Cool.
I'll put the differences between the paid and the free in the chat for everybody.
Okay. I'm going to begin the final four. And so it'll take down the final four notes that we have. Is the Adam, is the referee style the final four? Is that a new thing that you just added?
Yeah, that's a new animation. That's a new animation and sound effect. Yeah.
You should add who's that guy that says let's get ready to rumble? You should add that like right to the beginning of it.
I don't know if we can afford the rights to his voice. But
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, that's right too. Someone said, besides the check mark, was there a way to get feedback about the entries?
yeah, so in Battle Royale, we intend this to be more of a quick hitter type of activity. So in this one, no, but we have another one that's called All In. And it's a very similar style activity where the kids see two anonymous peer responses and they click the one that they think is stronger. But with that one, you can turn on comments. So then they can also say, like, I chose this one because, and provide feedback that way. So um, if you want to do that, I would say check out All In, and I will put in a little tutorial for that in the chat.
Okay. Okay. And sorry, I'm just trying to keep us moving, advances here. Let's begin the championship round. All right, here it is. These are the notes that you guys deemed the best. All right. And we'll continue to and here's where, like, when this comes up, I use this as a way to kind of go through both to show the class here are these two examples that you guys put at the top. And I even kind of share my opinion. I like this one because, or I like this one because, and just give feedback in the moment as a whole class. And then I would continue to the championship and let kids do it. So here you go. I like to read the questions here. So, what are dehydrated potato flakes? I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't even know. I don't even think I want to know, but Pringles are delicious, so I just go with it. Someone said, "How did the design of the Pringles can change the way snacks were packaged and sold?" Is well, because of the can, they had to change the size of the chip to make it fit in the can, and then, bam, the rest is history. So then they just started coming up with all this other crazy packages and stuff like that. So, all right. All right. So keep in mind as we're doing this though, like I've never, as I'm looking at reading some of the questions and comments, I would never do, I mean, not never, but I have never done cyber sandwich note taking in short answer. I'm doing it this way. So we're not bouncing around from tool to tool to tool. And it's, I don't know, a way that you can see some short answer and how it works and share some basic tools and features with it. And then we can get another rep with it as well. Um, I would typically do Cyber Sandwich either on paper or I would do it in Google Slides and have kids just like type their own notes on a slide and then partner up with a Chromebook and share and talk this out. That's how I would typically do it, and I'll show you examples of how I do it. But just for the ease of this, this is how we went about doing it. So I'm going to reveal the class choice. There's that. There's that. All right. And then at this point, I would reveal the name. Victor, congratulations. I wish I had something to give to you, but I have nothing. I don't have high chews. I don't even have Pringles to give to you. So I apologize. But here's what I'm going to have you guys do. Keep open your tab, and I am going to, and from here, right, Adam, you could then take this and have kids like reflect on it, and here are some action steps we can take going forward, right? You build all these reflective pieces in.
Yeah, for sure. It depends on the context of how you're using this. If this is just going to be a bell ringer warm up thing to start class, maybe not. But if you wanted it to be something a little bit more meatier for the class, on the student screens right now, or I guess on our screens right now, you can see the top response that was chosen, and we can do some reflection on, okay, you said this was a strong response, but what did it do well that you feel like justified it being chosen? So it just
Yeah.
depends on the timing.
And Sonia asked, does it usually take this long to generate? No, I just know we have what 40 people on this right now, and so I think that's why it took a little bit too long. I know my class sizes are super small, and I set a timer and I stick to the timer. I didn't really do the timer this round, so um, and Michelle asked, can we go back in and see why it won? And yes, I can click on Victor's name. I can bring it up, and then we can create a class discussion from that as well. But leave. Let's go, Adam. Say that again.
Oh, so I don't mean to interrupt you. If you click on the tabs at the top there where it says reflection next to
Mm-hmm.
winners, you can
Yep.
also see what people have submitted. So I could, if we wanted to have a class discussion, I could be like, all right, Heidi, you said it's well organized. Tell me what you mean by that. Mimi said it had strong facts. Can you tell me more? Like, these submissions can be a jump off point for discussion too.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go back in. I'm going to leave open the tab because I don't want to remove anybody. I'm going to sign back in as a teacher, and I'm going to set up a summary writing piece. Um, I wonder, I'm going to do this real quick. I'm going to export the results and put them into a Google Doc just like that. All right. And so then I'm going to do this real quick. So bear with me because I want to share everybody's notes with everybody here. So I'm going to upload that file. Um, I'm going to download this. Um, there we go. There's that. All right. So I'm going to upload this file of notes, and I'm going to share notes with everybody here. So bear with me. There's that. There's that. There's that. All right. And I just replaced that file. Okay. So I'm going to download that as a PDF, and that way I can share notes and you can have them. And this way we're like collaborating, if you will. All right. So I'm going to set up another short answer assignment. This time we're going to take our notes, keep your notes open from the previous short answer, and then we are going to I'm going to show you how easy this is to set up. I mean, I do this right in class, right on the spot sometimes, Adam. It's that easy to set up. So create a summary about Fred Bauer and the Pringles can. Use at least one note from another person. And that creates the collaboration piece within the cyber sandwich utilizing short answer. And so now I can upload files right here. So I can choose a file, and now I have the responses. I have the Pringles thing, And now I've attached those two things. I can even create writing stems and an outline in here, correct?
Sorry, I was on mute. Yeah, yes, you can. So
Yeah.
it's going to use AI to do a first pass. Sometimes it'll be
Mhm.
good, sometimes it won't. It just depends on the context. So you can edit with whatever AI gives you. We're just doing that to kind of hopefully speed it up for you a little bit.
Yeah. And I see like here it said Fredauer, so it spelled his name wrong. So I might have to go in and fix that, which Adam just said you can edit. So I'm going to hit next. And then I like this piece. And I made the mistake one time of picking like 5 or 6 things on the criteria. And really all I do now is I just pick one criteria piece. What's the one thing that we are going to focus on in class? And so for this particular one, I'll just use the strongest explanation of content. And that's the focus piece for when we do our voting or our feedback or anything like that. I'm going to hit create and exit. And so, bam, it's going to be ready to go. Now I can hit launch. And I think we'll just do another battle royale. And we're going to hit next. I can use stems and outlines. I can allow copy and paste. The other thing I really like about this is I'm going to just keep this at 3 minutes too. I'm going to set a timer. I'm going to copy the link. The other thing I like about short answer that I maybe others have added it now, students can voice type. All right. Students can voice type. And that was huge for some of the students that I had last year and some of the students I have this year. I put the link to my short answer in the chat. So join in. And so create a summary about Fred Bauer and the Pringles can. Use at least one note from another person. You have the reading and everybody's notes in one spot. I'm going to set a timer for 3 minutes and I'm sticking to it, people. All right. There's that. But I'll never forget the first time I ever used my short answer in the battle royale last year. And this is why I got hooked to it. I had a student, one, he had the voice type, and he wasn't the most popular student. And we did a battle royale, and he won the battle royale. And he threw his arms up and he screamed out loud, "I never win anything." And that was just the instant hook to my short answer. Just the pure excitement from that kid doing this activity.
Miss Lee had a good question in the chat. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so you would need to go in and then manually remove those, Miss Lee, before sharing those out with kids if you didn't want their names associated with the notes specifically. Um, so it would require maybe doing this across a couple different days if you wanted to like share the spreadsheet in the way we just did, but without names. Hope that answers the question. And then
All right.
there was a question previously too. Can the students go back and review their work? So this is where it becomes challenging that we don't have full student accounts. So it's a one-time join code every time. So to kind of bridge the gap there, what we've done is in the top right, there will be a three-dot menu when you're done writing, and you can export your writing to a docx file that you can use in Google, Google Docs or Microsoft Word or whatever your word processor is.
And we have about a minute and 10 seconds left. And again, if with the notes, if you only see one person's notes in there, oh, you just have to scroll through. Um, yeah, everyone's notes are there. And again, I just did that real quick just to share notes and create a collaboration type piece. Whereas if we were doing this in class, I would have students partner up and then compare their notes and actually talk about it with each other. And I'll show you guys how I do that. So, and we have about 20 seconds left. And so start to submit your writings. Now in class, what I would do for the what I would do for the writing piece is I would give kids I would might start off with 10 minutes, but the more you do cyber sandwich throughout the year, that time gets less and less and less. So I would typically would have anywhere between 5 to 10 minutes for writing a brief summary about the Pringles can or about, well, anything really. But for this, the Pringles can and Fred Bauer being buried in a Pringles can. All right. When we begin a knockout round, it's the same thing. So it's going to partner up. And the goal is to which one has the strongest explanation of content. That's our criteria. All right. And I know with these middle schoolers, sometimes that completion bar just zips right across there, Adam.
I'm on mute. Yeah, no, it's a challenge. You got to get kids to slow down and read through them. And that's partly why when we jump to the finals, we like pull it up on the teacher screen and like, all right, let's talk about it as a class before we move into the
Yeah.
championship voting. Yeah.
All right. I'm going to hit begin final. Well, we're still going. Begin final four. All right. These are the top ones, top four, I should say. Okay. And this will be our championship round, the two top ones right here. And so, again, at this point, I would read both of these, kind of just quickly go through them as a class, and then give some quick whole class feedback, and then let the kids do it. And there it is. So then choose your top one. I'm more favorable to the fair puzzle one. All right. And then I'm just going to hit reveal class choice so then I can share with you guys some more cyber sandwich related stuff. All right. I don't think I influenced the voting, but really nice job, Christelle. Awesome. And so I'm going to go back. Someone asked here, Adam, are students signing in with an SSO or can they be completely anonymous?
They can be completely honest. So you're signing in with a one-time join code every time, so kids don't. There's no account creation or anything like that.
Okay.
A good question.
All right. All right. I'm going to come back to this here. So now, typically, like I said, I don't do a cyber sandwich in like the whole process of it anyway within my short answer. I usually use Google Slides or paper, and the my short answer piece is a great way to add some gamification, some engagement. You can even and we'll share this here in a little bit. There's an AI feedback piece within my short answer as well. But the cyber sandwich here is typically this is our recipe card: two students, 5 slides, one source, and that source could be a reading, video, infographic. It could be and then students read, they compare, and then they write. And so this is typically what it looks like. when I have done it in the past. And I usually set it up with a question to focus the student. So in this particular one, it's all on a Google slide. Describe how the election of 1828, or describe the election of 1828. How did Andrew Jackson become our seventh president? And so the first part is this, it's a 10-minute read. And you can structure the notes like I did in short answer with put down 3 facts, a bazinga, and 1 question you have. You can leave it open-ended like this and have kids pick out what are 5 things that you think you're going to need to answer that question on the front. And so 10 minutes, read, take notes. This gives you an idea of on the side here of what my readings look like. And I try to just keep it to 1 page, very short, simple, to the point. And I always have paper available for kids because kids like to, some kids love to have that paper where they can mark it up and annotate and do their thing. The middle piece is this. And here's where I would have students just partner up, and they want student 1 would take their Chromebook, student 2 has their Chromebook, and I have them just partner up and literally just talk about what did you just read? What type of notes did you take down? And compare their ideas. And what are things that they both had down? Because maybe those are important things we need to include in our summary. So this takes 5 to 10 minutes. And then our summary is going to be 8 to 10 minutes long. And so the summary piece, you can have them do it, type it on a slide. You can have them handwrite it, or you can link in my short answer and have students go right to that and type their summary into my short answer. And the great thing about it is at the end of the my short answer session, you have all the student answers in one spot that you can put in either a Google Doc or you can put it into a CSV file, or it's all right there in the system that you can just kind of go through and see who did what. And you can easily grade them because they're all in one spot. And so that's our typical structure of a cyber sandwich is we're going to read for 10 minutes, discuss for 5 to 10, summarize 8 to 10 minutes. And that's it. And here are some student samples that I have. Here's one I did from a couple years ago. What can we learn about abolitionists from a philanthropist newspaper? So I found this old newspaper and I had ChatGPT just kind of extract the text and clean it up, translate it a little bit. And so what I did is I put a question up here to focus them. Read the article carefully and identify 3 specific examples or events that provided insight into the tensions and conflicts surrounding the issue of slavery in this community of Sardinia. So I had kids go through and read and pick some things out, stuff they thought was important. I had them then compare what they thought was important. And then finally, I had them write a brief summary at the end. And so here's the other piece to this as well is I link everything on the slides here. So I link the reading into the slide as well. So everything is right there, easy to access. You could even go no tech if you want to. And this particular teacher was doing this with her 3rd graders and she said here, I was terrified to try a cyber sandwich, but so glad that I did. And she had the kids working on paper in groups. And, like if I wanted to take this right here, I could easily print this off, have it ready for my students. And then here's an example of one I did earlier this year on paper. And the reading I gave to the kids had 4 headings. I said, choose 1 main idea from each heading, write a summary at the end. That's it. And then here's one student sample this was from a few years ago, actually, but it just shows how if you rep this out, how you can build students' writing over time. And so this first one up in the corner here, this was in September, and here was February. And it's just that constant rep and that practice from writing I'm not a writing coach. I'm not a writing teacher, right? I tell everybody I'm a closeted English teacher teaching social studies, but just that practice and the feedback and everything that goes with it can help these students learn how to write. And it just shows, when you structure it and you have it set up the right way, students can really grow from this. Um, and then I'm going to skip that. So here's how we build this. All right, here's how we build this. So with Cyber Sandwich, you are deepening reading comprehension and their writing skills. The content that you can use within this could be a one-page reading. You could link up Edpuzzle to this or a YouTube video. You can have them turn to page 58 in their textbook and have them use that one page out of their textbook. You can pair up a primary source if you want to. The options are endless here. Um, but either way, I try to keep it short, simple, and I try not to make that reading more than a page in length. And then when can you use this? You can use this anytime throughout a course of study or whatever unit that you may be on. And here's some key points to remember. New is messy and proficiency builds over time. I remember the first time I ever did one of these and we did a low cognitive load, kids were lost. Like the whole process, like you're teaching these kids a process. And so I had to get past the fact that some kids were frustrated and it didn't go as well as I hoped. And I just kept at it and we did it again. We did it again until we got used to it. And it was no different this year. I have new students this year, not used to my teaching style. And so at first it was kind of frustrating just trying to get through the process. But we have it now. Reps build fluency. I usually only start by just having kids write one paragraph. So narrow their focus and then start simple and build up, but keep it going, keep the reps going throughout the school year. And here's where short answer can really enhance Cyber Sandwich. So I don't know how we're doing on time. Oh, we're really running out of time. Maybe Adam, we could like kind of highlight some of the different other features that are within my short answer that we didn't get to use, right?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So what you're clicking through to here it's just a clickable tutorial for every different activity.
Okay.
Let's do quick write. That's a good option. It's quickly become one of our more popular activities, I think, because it does embed neatly as just a fast activity. Um, and if you click the arrow on the top right, you can full screen it to make it bigger for us on Zoom here.
Okay. I don't know if it's the volume is going to play or not.
If not, it's all good. I can be your narrator here.
Okay. All right. So should I just hit get started?
Yeah, for sure. So what you're going to
Okay.
see here on the left is what your students, or sorry, the teacher view, and then on the right is what the students would experience.
Okay.
So if you click, it's a clickable tutorial. So if you click on the right there, it's like the students entering the join code.
Hmm.
Similar structure, like all short answer activities are a little different, but they follow the same structure of kids sign in with code. They do writing. After writing, we have some sort of feedback. It's either peer to peer, like we did with Battle Royale, or it's AI feedback, or it's both. But it's do the writing, do the feedback, and then do some reflection, revision, discussion. That's kind of the structure, no matter what activity you're doing. So with this one, your kids will submit the writing, and then if you want to click that button, once you've got that all, click begin feedback and reflection on the teacher
Hmm.
screen there.
Okay.
Um, and then there will be a little AI animation. And I think it might be kind of glitching out a little bit because Arcade gets weird when you share it on Zoom.
Okay.
Um, but go ahead and click that. And then I think we have an animation in it. No, we don't. With this one, it's just AI feedback. So for each success criteria that you've set, the students will get a proficiency score and a little chunk of feedback from AI on why it earned that score and what the student could do to improve their response. So they'll read through that chunk by chunk based on each success criteria and either give it a thumbs up or thumbs down. And then they'll click submit review. And then the game of this one is once all the students have submitted their reviews, we're basically equating them to points and we're tallying it up and we're trying to, as a class, hit a proficiency score goal together. So if you click that, I think I put the animation in this clickable tutorial, but we'll see. I'll go ahead and click show
Hmm.
results. Yep, here's the little animation you'll see. So we're trying to hit the flag at the top there, and you're going to see the ball moving towards it.
Mhm.
I promise it's more fun in class when there's happy music playing. And
Yeah.
and so I don't think we hit the goal in this one, maybe. I can't remember.
No, there's no goal. I didn't meet the goal.
Okay.
So
Yeah, so if you don't, the flag falls down and makes like a sad trombone sound. It's like wah wah. So you can either be done with it and just click end activity. Maybe that's it if it's a bell ringer. If you wanted to
Mhm.
extend it, you could pull up the discussion, the responses and discuss them. You can have kids sit together and talk through their feedback they received. The most popular option is to revise their work and resubmit it based on the AI feedback and see if they can improve as a class. Um, so it just depends on, again, how you're slotting this into your lesson plan, but there's different options here on how you can extend it. And so I hope that gives you a sense. Oh, go ahead, Adam. Sorry.
No, I was going to say I really like that revise and resubmit feature that you have there, giving kids a chance to like go back and make it better. I think that's great.
Right. It's a growth mindset too, right? It's like
Mhm.
so that little ball that's moving towards the flag, if you do the revise and resubmit, there'd be a little like high water mark there that's like, hey, we hit this many points last time. Can we do it a little better this time? Um,
Mhm.
so it's a good option for depending on what you're working on.
All
But
right.
again, hopefully it gives you a sense of like, yes, we have peer feedback. We also have some AI feedback in the platform. And then there's somewhere we mesh both of them together. We have an activity called Pen Pals where the kids vote on each other's writing, kind of like we just did with Battle Royale. But then the writing that's selected is debated by two AI characters, and the class has to vote for which character they agree with. So you're essentially using AI as like a foil to get kids debating and discussing things. So there's a bunch to play
That's
around
cool
with
too.
here. We're not going to be able to cover it all in 15 minutes, but I'd encourage you to play around um, with short answer and reach out if you have any questions. It is arcade. Um, yes, it's arcade, and I'm a huge fan of arcade. Shameless plug for them. I use them for all of our tutorials. Um, Good call out.
Okay. All right. So if you are interested in trying Cyber Sandwich out, I always like to share like you can break up Cyber Sandwich into three different parts: the reading and note taking, the compare and discussion, and then the summarizing piece. So I always like to share different ideas that you can do for notes because it doesn't always have to just be a blank slide and choose five important facts, or it doesn't always have to be three facts and a bazinga and one question. You can do, and again, I mean, there's basics, select 4 to 5 facts, but you can do stuff like this main idea note taking. So student two takes notes as student one reads aloud. And then student one takes notes as student two reads aloud. And then they compare their notes together. And I did it on this particular one because there were lots of things I wanted the kids to be able to like pronounce and say out loud and hear each other say these things. And it creates a natural discussion piece as well when they compare their notes. Like, hey, I didn't get all the who in there. Who did you get for this piece? Or I didn't really hear when. What did you get for when? So I've done that before and I like adding that to the notes. Um, Here is one where you can incorporate notes to match a text structure. And so you can ask the kids, what is the text structure? Oh, this is sequence. Well, whatever it is that you're reading, sequence out your notes. And so you can build those things in there like that and work on those skills throughout the year. Here's a cause and effect text structure. So I had students pick out the causes and the effects of compromises over slavery in the Constitution. Um, you can turn your whatever worksheet that it is that you have or your textbook questions, copy and paste the questions or your worksheet questions right there onto the note slide and scaffold that way. Here's one where I had three different reading levels. I've had classes where I've had kids on a first grade reading level all the way up to a 12th grade reading level. So I put three different variations of a reading linked on there. So there's so many ways you could go about doing this. Ideas for discussion. Have kids condense their notes. Why not, hey, roll dice and say, take your four most important facts, but you can only write each fact in 6 words. That's it. Or, um, you know, things like that. So, or just pick four of your most important facts and have kids go about doing it that way. Um, and then ideas for summarizing. So you can just keep it basic. Obviously, you can use short answer as a way to summarize. Have kids write using different text structures. In this particular one, I said, hey, write a compare and contrast style, and look for the key words of what makes it a compare versus contrast style. I have AI create awful paragraphs, and you can copy and paste a horrible paragraph into short answer and then have kids fix it. I've done that lots of times this year in my short answer. Here's this awful paragraph, fix it within there. And so students get in there, middle schoolers especially, always love to be right and love to fix stuff. Have kids fix bad paragraphs. So that's another way to go about doing it as well.
Can I jump in real quick, Adam? And not
Yeah.
to expand the scope here, but you could pull in another edge of protocol here of Nacho paragraph, and John has talked about this a lot.
Hmm.
um, of kind of the opposite of what you just described, which I think is great, like the error analysis and fixing a
Hmm.
poorly written paragraph. But like you do a battle royale and the kids select like, okay, this is our top response. I've seen John copy paste that into another prompt. Like, okay, and now your job is to make this even stronger. Like, let's
Hmm.
improve it. So there's any number of things you can extend, like ways to extend it, essentially.
Yeah. Or that summary that won our battle royale, I could copy and paste that summary and fire up another short answer right away. All right.
Yeah,
What more can we add to this summary? Right.
yeah,
So,
exactly.
all right. So at the end of this here, I have templates for everybody. I have the Mark Wallace template that I really liked. I have a Justin Unruh template here where it's a history revision. As a citizen, what could you have done to prevent blank? And it's a different take on the cyber sandwich. Um, Maria Gallagher, I have her cyber sandwich platter. And I have a link to my blog where I talk about ways that you can mix up the cyber sandwich and change things up a little bit. Um, as I scroll through this here, um, and I'm going to put this in the chat. If you want these slides, I'm going to put this in, and I am 2 minutes over. And I really appreciate everybody joining me for today. Really appreciate Adam joining me today. And thank you. I really appreciate it.
This was great, Adam. Thanks for doing this.
Mhm. And again, the tiny URL is for these slides. If you want to make a copy of these slides, they are in the it's in the chat or it's on the screen. So, all right. All right. Adam, thank you so much. I really appreciate you.
Yeah, no, same to you. This was great. I appreciate you doing it.
Right.
I like the Adam squared. This is great.
Oh, someone go Adam squared? Yes. Jake.
Someone earlier had mentioned that they were a middle school history teacher.
Hmm.
Um, Adam is a history teacher, so I would highly recommend join onto his blog because he has a million ideas that are fantastic. I don't remember who mentioned that. Let me look.
Oh, and thanks to Kelly for moderating us here and
Oh,
keeping us going. Thanks, Kelly.
sure, no problem.
All right, all right. I'm gonna put the thing in one more time. So if anybody wants the copy of these slides,